Good evening, everyone. Jeffrey here again. I'm in the basement of my old farmhouse. I'm going to start a project down here. The last thing I worked on down here was the gear house or steering clutch housing and brake housing and final drives for my window crawler, which got sidelined when I bought one that was all just about in running condition already. And before that, I worked on my Cat 60 parts, and that's 3 years ago already. So I got thinking I should get a project going here in the basement where it's warm to work on this winter. Something smaller that I can do here in the basement. I text Keith, a good friend of mine, and asked him what he thought of it, and he wholeheartedly agreed. And I'll show you here now in a minute what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to try and get a video out once a week on a little bit of it, even if I only make a little progress. But by doing this, it'll help keep me going on the project, I believe. And with all of your support, that always helps too, for those who are interested in it. So on to what my project is going to be. Of course, one of the biggest parts of the project is going to be cleaning up my workbench so I can work on it. But these are parts for the bottom end for my 1946 Harley Knucklehead. I've owned this motorcycle since August of 1974. I bought it from my older brother. I've been through a lot, this engine and I have been through a lot already. I'm going to walk you through everything that's been done to it over the years while it's apart, so you can see some of the things you wouldn't be able to see otherwise. And right now you can see it's in a pretty sad state. If you go back in my videos, I took it apart, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I actually seized it up running real hard on I-94 about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. I was keeping up the traffic, and we all know how fast that is on the interstate. And it only has 21 tooth motor sprocket. And I had run it that hard many times in my life, but never for that long of a distance. Because the odd thing is, the rod seized up. You can see it ain't pretty. And the mains were dry. I actually had to press the main shaft out. You see my press setup is still bolted to the crankcase to get the main shaft out of the crankcase. But even though those are dry, oddly enough, I know they're corroded from sitting here in the basement, but the pistons didn't get it all scuffed. So I surmise, so there had to be oil flying around in the crankcase, because normally the piston scoring would be the first thing. So I just surmised at this very high RPM for a long extent of the time, with the small oil pumps they had on them, the small amount of oil, that it was just flying off the crankshaft faster than it could lubricate. But that way it would still be in the crankcase flying up into the cylinders to lube the pistons, because I couldn't find anything wrong with the oil pump. So anyway, here it is. I will start cleaning everything up, get this puller off of there, and I will start showing you all the issues and things I've done to it over the years. And those of you who enjoy this, I hope you follow along. And maybe some of those who don't really follow Harleys, you might still follow along just for the story, because I'll be telling stories about me and this motorcycle as I go through it this winter. So I'll say, have a Merry Christmas, have a great New Year. This was one of my plans for the new year, which it has been every winter for a couple of years, but I think this is the year it's going to take place. Just help keep me motivated. So once again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And on the next video, I'll be cleaning up parts and start pointing some things out. Or I'll have you don't have to watch me clean parts. I'll mostly have the parts cleaned up that I'm starting on and point out what I have to do. So thanks again for watching. We'll see. If I don't see you before the new year, have a good year, and we'll see you then.